Coordinator Corey Hetherman. We'll go right to questions.
Tim Reynolds with the AP in Miami. Welcome.
Yep, thank you.
I'm sure it's been a little bit of water drinking from a firehouse. I guess it's the same the last couple of days, but
Yeah, it's been a fast turnaround right here.
you had a good job. You obviously had great success with the Gophers this year, but what spoke to you about this opportunity and said you wanted to, made you think about coming down here?
You know, just looking at, you know, the opportunity to compete for a national championship, you know, what the program is, what coach has done here, you know, looking at the roster, you know, I think you know, I'm excited about the opportunity and what we can do.
Yeah, you touched on the roster, just, I know it's only been a couple days, but after a quick look, just what stands out about the group and how do they fit your scheme, your style of play, what you want to do with the group?
Yeah, you know, we're going to be aggressive. You know, we want to be an attacking style defense. We're going to be very multiple, and you know, everywhere I've been, it's, you know, kind of go evaluate who's in the room, you know, who can we attract to where we are, and then, you know, figure out how to plug it in from there. And you know, I think there's a lot of really good athletes. I think there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of speed on the defensive side of football, and I think you know, I'm excited about, you know, trying to figure out exactly where everyone goes and where everyone will work. But you know, we're going to be an attacking, aggressive style defense, and you know, we're going to try to dictate the tempo.
I wanted to ask you about your path a little bit. I'm always curious when a guy finds his niche, obviously on one side of football, but you grew up on the other side of the football. When did that change for you? When did you become a defensive guy?
That was one of those things. I had an opportunity in coaching early, and it was going to take going to defense to kind of learn a little bit more, to go back to offense, and I never got back to offense. I've kind of been stuck on defense since that day. So, but it's been awesome. And you know, one thing I feel like I've learned on defense is, you know, maybe on offense I played the position, it was a little bit more comfortable. Maybe I didn't have to do as much work or be as detailed because there were things that I did as a player. And now it's been, you have to study, you have to research, you have to learn, you know, you have to test things and find out how it works, what, you know, every little detail in it. And I think that's been something that's really been a blessing for me on the defensive side of the football, working there.
There's also a parallel that you have here. Obviously, you coached under Coach Giano. Coach Cristobal obviously has very long, deep ties with Greg as well. Do you see similarities? I know you've only been here a minute, but are there similarities between the two men and how they go about their business from what you see?
Yeah, I mean, in a very short period of time, see a little bit of that. I'm still trying to get, you know, find out everything that's going on. So,
Coach, Gary from Kane Sport. Your journey is unbelievable. Just looking at where you've been and the steps that you took each step of the way. Can you talk a little bit about that? Take us like back to the beginning and just a lot of places that you've been that you needed to stop at to get to where you're at today, and what that was like.
yeah, you know, I was very lucky in high school. I had a teacher who's a head football college coach right now that, you know, as a history teacher, kind of helped me out, and kind of at that point I was like, I want to get into coaching. So, you know, I wanted to do education, I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to coach. And when I first graduated, he helped me get out to King's College in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where Coach Manello had like a whole program that was designed to teach you how to recruit, to teach you how to coach. You get your own room, you get to learn how to develop, and you learn everything about the program. And from there, I went to Springfield College, where you know, Mike DeLong and now Mike Sarasulo, you know, they did an unbelievable job. You get your own position room, you get out on the road. You know, as a young coach, there would be a lot of opportunities that, how do I do this? Or hold on, what just happened? You know, in everything, in recruiting and managing your own room and practice planning and drawing the cards or whatever area it was. And it really helped me as a coach, you know, start to learn exactly what I wanted to do, you know, how to work with the players and how to be planned for a practice or how to get out and recruit and you know, speak with families and recruits. And I think it really developed me as a young coach. And then playing Division III football, you know, I didn't have a network, you know, in the ACC or the Big Ten or any of those conferences. And that was an opportunity to kind of grow and learn. And you know, I got lucky enough to get an opportunity at Northeastern through the Springfield ties and kind of went from there. And you know, kind of been lucky as I keep going with connections or different people that we've crossed paths with.
Just a quick follow to that, obviously some guys in coaching get fast tracked. You've come through the other way, and in some way, does that help you developed professionally, having to, do with less, do more yourself and learn every aspect of the business and coaching?
Yeah, and where I started with some of those programs, then, I've been very lucky, get to the University of Maine with Jack Cosgrove and Joe Harrisimiak, and, go down with Kurt Signetti at James Madison, and, obviously Coach Shiano at Rutgers, and, Coach Fleck at Minnesota. I've been able to work with unbelievable people. And then, like, the players, that's the biggest thing. Like, I look at the guys that I had at Minnesota, I love those guys. Like, those guys would play so fast, and the way that they love the sport of football. Same thing, like the guys I felt like I had at Rutgers. I've been blessed to have really good rooms, or really good guys on the side of the ball that love the sport of football and they love playing. And that's the thing that I think has really helped me get to who I am or where I am. And I've been blessed with guys that just love the sport of football, love to play fast, and love to take coaching and get better every single day and work on their craft. And I've when I was a younger coach, some of my guys, I've been in text chains the last couple of days, or even in the fall as we go through games, and coach, remember you tried to do this at one point, or there'll be different things, and you just learn, and everything's all right. Well, I can't do that. Okay, we need to learn and do something else here. And there's been a lot of failures that you just keep learning and growing and trying to build and get better from as I've gone through the process. But I've been fortunate with great people around me. People in Minnesota were unbelievable, and really every step of the way I've had unbelievable people around me.
Coach, you come from a conference that's well represented, lower than the college football playoff, so you see what it takes to get to that level. What are you bringing here? Where do you see that Miami needed, or what was it you and Mario talked about you wanted to see from this defense, from maybe you can take from a conference like that and bring here to Miami?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think we want to play fast. We're not going to be very complex. I think let the guys go out and play football. I think, when I watch the film and I kind of see who's on the roster and the guys that are available to us, I think that's something we can do. And I think, whatever logo it is or whatever opponent it is, it doesn't matter, what game it is, where it is in the season. I want to make sure our guys can just play fast. And as long as we can do that and we communicate and we play together, if we play with each other, I think we'll have a great opportunity to play any team in the country.
In your career, you've shown the ability to have quick turnarounds, year one success. Why do you think that is? Is that something I guess you're proud of in your career?
I think different places I've been, early on in my career, it may not have been that way. And I think that's been different learning experiences. And I know some places we tried to do things that I was like, well, can't do this. And then, at Maine, I think we had some really good talent there at the end. James Madison was a very good situation we walked into. Had an opportunity to compete for a national title that first year. And then same thing, I think Minnesota, I thought that defense, those guys, there's a lot of talent on that roster. And I thought those guys, the way they competed, the way they worked, the way they competed with each other to make everyone better, really helped it. So last year we had a really good season, and that defense I thought made some really big plays.
Coach, how familiar are you with the Florida, South Florida area when it comes to recruiting or guys that you've coached in the past?
I think especially at Rutgers, working for Coach Shiano, we did a lot of things in Florida. Maybe not always at my position at linebacker, but different recruiting trips down here and different schools. Like even when I was at Springfield, we used to start the recruiting fairs. So I got to at least have an understanding. I know it's a different level, but the last couple of years being in the programs I've been in, we've been down here a lot in Florida, getting to learn the coaches in the area, the competition, and I'm excited about getting down here even more to recruit.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about you coming from a teacher background. How do you think that helps you kind of connect with the players and help them understand? Because college football defense can get intricate, complicated. How do you think that helps you on the field?
I think teaching, I want to make sure the guys understand why we're doing things. And yesterday in our meeting, it was the X's and O's don't matter right now. Everything is going to be about the technique, the fundamentals. Why am I stepping here? My hand placement, my pad level, my bend. Those are the biggest things we want to teach, is the details within everything. And then, as that goes, then we can get into the football. Then we can get into the scheme or the X's and O's. But I want to make sure our guys are technique sound, fundamental sound. They understand the whys. They understand what they're doing and what's going on around them. And I think that's, coming from a teaching background, we can put it on the board. We can give them a playbook. We can show them on film. We can break it down in indie and teach them the pieces of it or the segments of it. And then maybe go into a group period where you're doing the part, and then when you finally get to a team period, you have the whole. And you can walk through it, you can do it tempo, and when you finally go against the offense, now it's a full speed picture. But by the time they get there, they've broken it down so many times, they know what their first step should be. They know where their target should be. They know where their pad level is. They know how to tackle or how to defeat a block, or what where their eyes are supposed to go in their progression. And that's how we want to teach it every single day. And when we get to spring football, I want it where they can teach the other guys in the room. I want to make sure that they know it well enough where if I wasn't in front of the room, or if their position coach wasn't in front of the room, they could go up and talk to the younger guys or talk to a new guy coming into the program and be able to be detailed enough to tell them exactly all the steps in the process before they get on the field to play. And I think that's how we detail it out and how we're going to teach our guys. And I think that's the same thing when as I was coming up as a history teacher, how you go along presenting it.
And then follow up on that, coming from Minnesota, Miami, kind of two different worlds. What were your first impressions of Coral Gables when you got here, seeing the palm trees, the sun, probably snow back home, and so forth?
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was 14 and snowing when I took off, and I was 74 or something when I landed. So no, it's obviously both city environments, large population, but the weather will be the biggest thing, a little bit different.
Corey, what is your process of learning more about the players, or how much you'll watch film on them from lessons to learn about them, and then also same with the conference, kind of fast track maybe your process, what you want to do to learn about the conference as well?
Yeah, I think number one, it's going to be all about us. It's what do we have, what do we need to get better at. In every area of defense, is it how do we move to the football, how do we defeat blocks, how do we tackle, what's our progression, what coverages are we playing. But it's going to be all about us right now. I want to learn the roster. I want to learn who the guys are. I'm going to watch film, and I'm going to get with the staff and kind of have them sit down and tell me, okay, this was what was going on here. Here's what the progression was, or what the call was, and what we were trying to do. But then I'm also going to be able, as we keep watching workouts, and as we get to spring football, and spring we get to actually put the guys in positions and see them play. I think that'll be the most important thing, is finding what can we do. And I don't want to look at it right now so much as, hey, this guy's a defensive tackle, this guy's a linebacker. It's, I want to find out who can bend, who's explosive, who can run, who can tackle, who can cover, and then try to figure out what positions they go from there. And, just, seeing the guys on film, I'm excited about, a lot of the things that you see on tape from those, from the tackling and leveraging the football and playing the ball and seeing those different things. Now we're just going to continue to find out exactly where they all go.
What goes into one of the things that stood out about your year at Minnesota is the red zone defense success you guys had. What goes into just a successful red zone defense, keeping teams out of the end zone down there?
That's one of those stats I always try to figure out how much I need to want to look into that one. I remember one year we were very good in red zone defense, and I think like 5 teams ended the game by taking a knee in the red zone, so it was a stop. Now that's not the case always, but I think for us, it's all going to be about stopping the run. The number one goal is we want to get ahead of the sticks. We want to stop the run. We want to try to make an offense one-dimensional. And, when you get down to the red zone, I think elite teams run the football on offense, and I think elite defenses stop the run in the red zone. The quarterback's going to be a runner down there, so it's a little bit harder. Now you got to defend all 11. And I know a lot of teams now, the quarterback's going to be a runner anyway, but it doesn't matter who you're playing. Every team down there, the quarterback's going to be involved in the run game, so now it's a little bit harder because you got to defend everything. Now it's a little bit harder to throw the football down there, so we'll try to do some different things, coverage-wise or concept-wise, to challenge that and take away some of the excess throws. But I thought this year, our defensive line did a really good job of stopping the run, getting us ahead of the sticks, forcing offenses off track, and that really gave us a lot of success down there in the red zone as we played football.
Corey, you've talked so much about your philosophy and what you're looking for players. Can you summarize maybe what players have to do to play for you, and maybe some things you identify even in the recruiting process? Essentially, just what they have to do.
We're going to talk about being physical, and we're going to talk about swarming. The 3 things I talked to them yesterday about. I want you guys to love football. Like when you walk in the building, I want you to be excited to be here. I want it to be I can't wait to get to the football building. I can't wait to lift, run, eat, whatever it is, practice. watch film. I want them to enjoy being here. And then when we play, I want to be the most physical team. You know, we want to strike first. We want to strain all the way through. We want to, finish, on the ball carrier or on the ball in the air. But we want to be a physical football team, and then we want to play fast. We want to swarm. And I don't want it to be a thing where we're constantly thinking or we're, there's a lot going on. We just want to line up, understand what your job is, know my alignment, know my job, make sure my eyes are in the right spot, and then go play fast. And that's the biggest thing we want to get across. And I told the guys yesterday, I was like, listen, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be times we're wrong. I don't care in spring football. I don't go do it, but be 100 miles an hour, because now you'll learn from it. And now that won't happen in the fall. As we get through spring football into fall camp, by the end of fall camp, we'll get that out. We'll get that behind us. So now you just have confidence. You have trust in the defense. You have trust in your teammates around you. And you just have a belief that we're going to go out and get a stop every single time. And, I think that's been kind of how we've done it in this system in the past. And I think the guys just believe in one another. They play fast. They trust it. And, there'll be mistakes. There'll be things that are wrong. But if we play fast and we play physical, I think that erases a lot of mistakes.
I wanted to ask you about the player-to-coach communication, something that was implicated last year. What were your kind of experiences with that? Do you think that was beneficial towards you? Is that something that you're not, really involved with?
It was a little bit different every week, depending how the offense attacked you or the style of the offense. We kind of handled it a little bit differently every single week how we used it. The offenses that maybe went a little bit faster, we had more exposure to use it. But I thought, overall, I thought it helped us with different things we were doing. It's really what style of offense are you playing affects the game a little bit more of how you can do that.
Coach, Gavin, you're 20% of sports. Is there clarity of just what position group you're going to have specifically to coach?
I'm not. We're still going through that.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else for Coach Hetherman? All right, thanks,
All right.
Coach.